I'm Ken Ashland, the Gallery Director of Roy G. Biv Gallery. Today I'll be interviewing Robert Howsare about his September exhibition with us. I'll ask him a few questions about his art-making techniques and about the concepts behind his artwork.
Hi, my name is Robert Howsare, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist exploring printmaking through non-traditional matrices and processes.
How did you first get interested in kind of the optical illusions and the glitches of the visual system?
My interest in kind of the optics and perceptual systems stems from my background in printmaking. I've worked several years as a commercial printmaker, and so we're making like editions of thousands of prints, and occasionally, you know, there will be mistakes, like something will be misregistered, and those moments, those prints really became just kind of like these really special things, because, you know, you're printing thousands, and if you're doing it right, they should all look exactly alike. And so I became interested in the moire pattern, and which historically is a mistake in the printmaking process.
When did you start using projections in your artwork?
Projections started entering my studio practice when I was in graduate school, and I was looking for ways to kind of engage the viewer more actively in my art making process. So I started printing on 16mm clear leader, and so creating like these hand printed film loops that the viewer could then watch the film going through the projector, but then also kind of watching these prints being created in the space. And as a result, it also allowed me to kind of increase the scale of my work and also kind of create a more immersive environment, because the projectors I was using read sound optically, so then you began to not only see the patterns but hear them as well. And it just kind of like all really kind of fit together. Then taking into consideration the way that film works, like 24 frames per second is what's perceivable to the human eye. So then that kind of really tied in nicely to my interest in our optical systems.
How should, as I look at Rift, I think there's a specific way to look at it. I think you have to look at it more long term to kind of get a sense. You have to kind of meditate on it and see how your visual system will process it. Can you talk about how you want someone to look at a piece like Rift? Or what do you see personally when you look at a piece like Rift?
I think my work requires the viewer to kind of spend some time with it, to kind of really just be sensitive, and because I think it's really easy to just initially, it's pretty graphic and maybe a little unnerving, because it plays with our perceptual systems. So I think for it to really work, the viewer to get the most out of it, they just need to kind of like stay with it and just kind of like meditate and did that even answer your question?
That did answer my question. I feel like I told you what to say, and then you answered with what I said. But I think we both feel the same way about the work, that you have to really kind of let it all in. When you describe what you see when you look at a work like Spectre?
I think it really kind of changes, as you kind of change your visual focus. So initially when I look at it, I'm attracted to the kind of rivers that occur through the squares. Similar to like in graphic design when you look at a body of text and like the spacing, you can kind of see it's just like these white paths throughout. And then, that'll start to kind of fade away, and then I'll kind of get like a shimmering kind of effect, or twinkling. And then there's really strong kind of diagonals where the black squares kind of crisscross. And then of course there's, the dots that occur in the negative space. And that's kind of where the name is derived from, because it's kind of like these ghosts of here.
Sounds great. Which works are you, so as you've now put up the exhibition, which works do you particularly like the most, and where do you see your work developing for your next exhibition, next year or so?
I'm attracted to the moire drawings because they've kind of been something that I've always kind of wanted to get to, and just never really kind of got around to it. Just because I was kind of really into like installation and projection, and there's something really kind of meditative in the process of making this. Because it's just the repetition, of the lines, of like the movement, and which also comes back to printmaking, the repetition, line, moire. But I'd like to like kind of explore that a little bit more two-dimensional work. And the way that these, like the framing is handled, I think is really what allows me or maintains my interest in two-dimensional work, is that it becomes such a big part of like the presentation. Because I kind of moved away from two-dimensional work because, just like a print that's completed and then you just hang it on the wall, and then that's it. It's really kind of anticlimactic for me. So just trying to like add that another level to the work. And, obviously projection is really exciting. I've been playing around with projection mapping, and would like to maybe start bringing in some like audio elements, to kind of really just add another level to really kind of enrich the work.
So what would you like a viewer to leave the exhibition thinking about?
I think one of the most exciting things for me and fulfilling things for me about this exhibition is kind of the simplicity of the materials, and like the color scheme. It's all very like simple, but like the sum becomes greater than the parts, or sum becomes greater than the sum of the parts, and I think that's what I would really like the viewers to come away with. It's just, like that sensitivity to materials, and, that the research into the materials, the process and technique can really kind of achieve, it's almost a little bit like magic, like there's like this sleight of hand, and it's like maybe like pretentious as that might sound. I think that's what I really like to move forward with.
Thanks, Robert, for talking to us today. We look forward to your exhibition, and thanks for showing us.